Marvel Spider-Sense Spider-Man.
Super Style. Get in the action today.
Available at Target.
MarvelKids.com. Welcome, dear listener, to our podcast. Jeff and Rick present Unpacking the Power of Power Pack,
where we journey through each issue of comics that include a member of the most underrated Marvel series from the 80s while drinking beer.
analyzing awesome and amazing adjacent adolescent adventures, and absorbing alcohol.
I am Jeff.
And I am Rick.
If I random banter, would you still remember me? Random banter time, buddy. Talk to me, tell me tall tales and tantalizing tidbits of trivia today.
Play Freebird!
Yep. Why would I pick Freebird? There's two reasons.
If I leave here tomorrow, got somebody that's leaving.
Yep.
Would you still know my name? People got different identities?
Nah, not that. I'm going off of, okay, think of the, what's the band name? Who sang this song?
Leonard Skinner.
Yep.
Right?
Metal ain't got no skin. He'd been skinnered.
You're bad. Okay.
I tied in two things, a song and the artist.
Nice.
I was very proud of myself.
Real. Too soon, Jeff. Too soon.
I don't know. This is like a comic from, what, 2014, something like that. 2011, I think.
Yeah, and the song's older than that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think I'm right. I'm quite timely.
You are never right and hardly timely, but we digress. I will tell you what is timely, and that is right now from when we're recording this. Not going to mean too much to anybody like a month or so from now when I actually put this out. But this weekend is Rose City Comic Con. That is right. September 22nd through the 24th of 2023. Rose City Comic Con. Me there. Jeff not. Don't matter. We I'm going to represent. I'm going to have my stuff there. I think that there's going to be a few people I'm hoping to see there. I know one of my coworkers, actually one of my managers, he says, I'm taking Friday off. I'm like, I'm taking half a Friday off too. We doing the same thing? Yeah, we doing the same thing. So I'm going to see him there.
Nice.
I know there's a couple other people I'm friends with on some of the social medias going to see there too. I'm excited because Sunday night at 4 p.m., the back end of the show, Hard Choices, which is a very mature content podcast I listen to, is going to be doing a live show and it'll be fun. But our friend of the show, Hub from Tighten Up the Defense, is going to be there with a few other people. He's on that panel. He's with that group that does that kind of thing. So I'm excited. I really looking forward to seeing that. Got the excuse card from the wife that, yes, I am going to be home late Sunday night. Just chill.
Very nice.
And no, Carrie can't come. You shouldn't come either because you ain't going to be interested either.
Look, I want to hear about that.
They are going to be ranking the relationships somethings that you would have with certain characters. In this case, they're going to be looking at 80s animated.
Okay.
Where you would rate them on a list of the most somethingable to the least somethingable.
Affectionable.
Sure.
Yeah. We're sure Colin.
They are into you. You are into them. Where do they rank on that list?
Yeah, because
there will be some talks. There will be some very candid feelings about Skeletor. Mm-hmm. So yes, it's a very fun show. It's not one that I would recommend at all for children. Not at all. You can't even really explain it to children. So
you shouldn't. And I'm very curious about this. It sounded fun. I like this. I'm like, cool. I want to be involved in that or hear about it.
It's a fun little show they do, and they get to do it live at Rose City Comic Con. And nice. Rose City Comic Con said, yes, we are going to put this at the end of the show.
Yes. We'll let people go home, and that way, yeah. There'll be a smaller
crowd.
People
who really want to be there will be there.
The people
that
aren't
going to just find this. Yeah.
They won't stumble in because they're like, it's 1 o'clock. We've got this. We got time.
4 o'clock.
Let's go.
4 o'clock.
I know. I'm just saying. It's 1 o'clock on a Saturday. Oh, what do you want to go see? Oh, we could go do a meet and greet, or we could go hear this thing. Hard choices. Oh, I wonder what that's about. Yeah.
No, most of my time though, I am going to be spent walking the halls, going to Artist Alley, seeing a few different writers and comic book artists. I know I've got a couple of books that I pulled out of our stack of books we are going to cover. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to get some signatures from some comic creators that are doing books that have Power Pack in them. Don't ask me who they are right now because I can't remember. I've got a list. I've got a large stack of books. I've got many comic book boxes open behind me that Jeff is looking at. I've been in meetings all week and people are like, are those comic book boxes behind you? And I said, yes, they are. That is what I've got going on right now. How about you?
Well, that sounds kind of neat. I mean, that it's like on par what I'm going to talk about, which is I was about a week ago or so, I was cleaning some brush and I discovered a yellow jacket hive. And I discovered that yellow jacket hive the hard way because I started getting invisible stung by monsters. So I screamed bees in my brain and then I ran away. And as I ran away, a bird pooped on me. So, we're doing pretty equitable. You're going to go to Comic-Con and I got stung and bird pooped. So
I'm going to tell you this again. Because I've told it to you many, many times, you need to make better choices with your life. The reason you got stung and pooped on is because you are not going to Rose City Comic Con.
It's quite possibly true.
If you were going to Rose City Comic Con, those animals of the wild would have looked at you and said, there is a man who makes wise choices in the future because we know what he will do. We will respect him and his boundaries, and we will encourage him to do good things with his life. They are punishing you because you do not come with me to Rose City Comic Con.
It's true. Yeah, I even I got an exterminator out there because I'm like, I need to work in this area. I have no choice about this, and I need to do it without being gun shy and running away over and over again. So he came out and I told him my story, and he started laughing, and then he's like, I'm sorry, that's not funny. And I'm like, no, it is funny. That's why I told you. So.
Comedy is tragedy plus time. It's both things that happened at that point. So exactly. It's okay.
So that's mine. I got other stuff I could talk about, TV shows and movies and whatnot, but we can move on into the show.
We do a show? Why, I think we do a show. But we can only do that if we do beer. But we can't do beer until you give us a 2-sentence replay. So give us a 2-sentence replay so we can have beer.
Well, the world was saved from the 4 mad celestials, and everyone is happy about it. Well, everyone except young Valeria, that is. She thinks it's dumb because her dumb future self stood around and watched her dumb future brother do all the dumb work. And now they have to clean up dumb New York before they can go back to the rebuilt dumb Baxter building where her dumb dad has made familiar habitats for all the different dumb members of the Future Foundation. And she bets the dumb Atlanteans poop in their dumb water rooms. Now that the non-surprise was that Doom survived on the other side of the gate, and now he plans to build the Parliament of Doom over the ashes of the Council of Reeds. 2-sentence replay is over. Why don't you give me a beer and tell us what our Power Pack pick is?
My pleasure, my friend. Let me tell you, Jeff, I've got friends in low places where something, because I don't know the song. I got you a beer that's called Breakside Low Places.
Wow, you didn't even give me a chance to see it on my own. It's just what it is. Yeah.
No, I mean, I was going to sing you a song and show you. I mean, that's how it's going to work this time. I mean,
like it.
We do things different ways here. I'm keeping the surprise. I'm keeping it fresh for you.
You're keeping the relationship fresh. This is nice. Well, golly, mister. Breakside Brewing is from Portland, Oregon. Wow, what an exotic location that sounds like. If only we could journey there just down the street from your house.
I can, yeah. Why would I say low places? I kind of gave it away a little bit with my little song there, I think. But
we got some people that are depressed. Yeah, this is nice. This is just a picture of like an active mine. It's got the rocks. It's got the rail system in there, some lights. The low places are subterranean because they're mining.
We don't have any subterranean things in our book. It's just that people are depressed. People are talking. We have somebody that's got some friends, and I like the low places reference. She's talking to her friends, and it just made me think of that song.
Yeah, she's kind of sad about stuff. Yeah, this is very much episode where people are kind of rethinking their lives and thinking that, like, maybe I need to take a break from the superheroing. Maybe I need to get out of the situation that I'm in. Maybe I need to leave behind the familiar and the comfortable and branch off into something new and potentially not exciting, but different and scary, and kind of have a little bit of self-growth.
That sounds like every conversation I have with myself at 5:45 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Low Places by Breakside Brewing. Lager beer. We've long enjoyed making lagers here at Breakside, whether it be our Pilsner or one of our many award-winning lagers that we brew at our pubs. These beers are universally loved by our brewers, and for good reason. They're refreshing, smooth, drinkable, clean, and complex. We're excited to see that our customers are engaging these styles more and more each year. Yes, we do believe that craft lager is finally ready to have a moment. And at IBU 18, 4.8% ABV, let's have some dark lager, shall we?
It's got a lovely color to it. It's like an amber ale, maybe kind of mixed with like a red. Yeah. It's a very pretty color, very clear.
Very neutral?
Very neutral. I don't get much on the nose. So I'm almost not smelling it. I'm still a little sinuses, but
there's no real smell. It's very neutral, it's very clean. And the taste is
that's
very
pleasant.
Mild. Very mild.
It's
and
mild.
pleasant.
That is a drinkable beer.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, again, it's not challenging. It's not the most flavorful. It's not the most anything forward. It's just nice. It's clean. It's crisp. It is pleasant. It is a good drinking beer.
It's a dark lager. Lagers are your simple, easy, straightforward Budweiser type beers. Dark lagers, put a little bit of color in there. Kick up the malts a bit. That's what we got. We got the good, clean malt taste. Not a lot of hops. No hops really at all. But it's just a clean, enjoyable, cool, and refreshing drink. That's what it is.
It doesn't have any gimmicks.
No.
And that's kind of refreshing sometimes to not have gimmick beers where you're like, oh, well, this has a pepper in it, and this has oranges, and this has this. It's like, oh, this is just nice.
It says in the description that it's complex, and I think the complexity comes with there is taste in there, but it's not, there's nothing really forward. It's a lot of good flavors that are pairing nicely with the malt flavor. So it's just, they're really letting just the natural, clean essence of a brewed beverage come out.
What's funny about it, I think it's complex in its simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of work went into making this just a nice, laid-back thing.
Yeah. This is good. I like Breakside Brewery. I really do. They do some good, fun stuff.
They do.
Good, nice stuff. I wouldn't say fun. I think that it's actually good, clean beers. They do good stuff.
I do not think of Breakside as like they're goofy and funny. They're not like Great Notions. I was also thinking of like the people who did the Hellboy beer and stuff. You know, they're not doing themes or like, oh, this is a movie tie-in. And oh, we went crazy and this is caramel apple or anything like that. They're just like, we make beer and it's good beer.
Yep. And Marvel Comics makes some good comics.
Oftentimes, yes.
Okay, people can make bad comics. We've been more or less reading a bunch of good comics. And when we're talking about Avengers, on a whole, flagship title, it's pretty good. And this is one of the offshoots of Avengers. And I'm talking about, forget it, I'm not going to tell you what I'm talking about. I'm going to let Jeff tell you what we're talking about as he gives us the opening credits.
Avengers Academy, issue number 20, December 2011, endings. Credits, writer, Christos N. Gage, penciler, Tom Rainey, inker, Scott Hanna, letterer, Joe Caramonga, colorist, Jeremy N. Cox.
Featuring a lot of people, but we're going to go ahead and stick with these ones. Vale, Maddie Berry, Reptile, Umberto Lopez, Hazmat, Jennifer Takata, Metal, Ken Mack, Finesse, Jean Foucault, Striker, Brandon Sharp, Justice, Vance Astrovic, Giant Man, Hank Pym, Tigra, Greer Nelson, Quicksilver, Pietro Maximoff, and Speedball, Robbie Baldwin. Oh yeah, also guest starring Julie Power. Huzzah!
To sum up the beginning of this book and where we are in the Avengers story, there were a whole lot of big battles with the Red Skull's daughter, a giant serpent, Titania and the Absorbing Man, and the infinite Avengers mansion nearly being blown up.
Say what?
Needless to say, there is something like 50 years of backstory to bring us to this point here, and also, hey, Thor's dead. Sacrificing himself in battle as a good Viking god should.
Poor Chris Hemsworth. We hardly knew ye.
I'm pretty sure he'll get better. But the point is, there is a group of teenage superpowered individuals who have been put through a lot. Originally gathered by evil Norman Osborn to do some evil stuff after he did some evil stuff to them. They were eventually rescued by the Avengers and have been receiving training and help.
Good for them.
Including a brief moment where Spider-Man was their substitute teacher and some middle-aged guys talked about it on their podcast.
Bummer for these kids. That had to be tedious.
But then all of this stuff happened, and now there's some doubt, not just amongst the students, but actually all of the Avengers. But we really do not care about them and their little problems.
What? Little problems like maybe Tony Stark drinking again? And the danger that Jess and Luke Cage's daughter is being constantly exposed to by superhero battles?
No! Heck with those guys. We need to focus on Maddie, aka Vale. She has been distant with her teammates and has finally decided to make the decision to take a mysterious person up on their offer.
Ah, intrigue. Thy name is comics. But as Maddie finishes her mysterious call, she is approached by Jennifer, aka Hazmat. They are not the bestest of friends. What with Hazmat's caustic attitude, lack of charm, and genuine radioactive personality, but she still wants to try and talk Maddie out of quitting.
Yeah, quitting is for quitters, and quitters are losers, and losers are not winners. So stay on the winning team by losing at quitting.
While Jennifer does not use this line, she does try out the old grass is not always greener approach. The problem is that Maddie never had a good life.
Broken family, trained to be a killer, met her heroes and found out that they were more screwed up than she was. Maddie has some baggage.
Before Hazmat can really lose this argument, we get the entrance and, sigh, exit of one of the greatest Marvel superheroes of all time, Speedball.
Really?
Yeah, Robbie's been helping out as a teacher.
Kind of a do as I don't, not as I do class syllabus teaching style, I bet.
Whatever. He has some of his own trauma he's been working through, and now he feels that he is ready to head out back on his own.
So, what you're saying is he's going to bounce?
Yes, but he will still be around if needed. But I guess that writer had too many people on the roster, and they needed to let somebody go.
They made a very wise choice.
We will agree to disagree. Still, before he pieces out, he takes a moment to also chat with Vale about her choice.
While he recognizes that he is also leaving, he really boils it down to one question.
Has she made sure she has packed all of her masks? Remember, the Avengers have been picking up the costume bill, something the private sector does not usually cover.
No. Well, yes, there's that too. But also the real question is, you okay, girl?
And because this is a superhero comic, he's asking her this question while some of their cohort are involved with a superhero fight.
It looks like what letter are we on? A, B, C, D, E. E-list villains called Aftershock, Ember, and the Ice Master, and they're pulling off a Butch and Sundance last stand against a barrage of heroes.
Before the Avengers Academy can put a lid on these off-brand peanut butter replacements, a guy called Briggs shows up in a helicopter and does something to the villains.
Holy headaches, Batman! What is this guy's deal?
Well, he is a matter manipulator who can alter things at a molecular level. He is also a billionaire, which has been proven is an actual superpower. And he is actively recruiting people to a team that he is assembling.
Wait, is he the guy that Vale is leaving the Avengers to join?
You betcha. And he drops that kernel of truth on the rest of her teammates who are not too pleased that she would rather work with that jerk than them.
Yeah, the next few pages are filled with a lot of people telling Vale about the number of ways that this is stupid, and that the guy is a killer, and a liar, and that she is stupid. But Metal thinks that the money is nice, so why not take that cheddar and run?
But what does Hank Pym think?
Oh, hang on a second. Let me check. Wow, that might be the first time in recorded history that anyone has ever asked that question.
Well, Hank starts off with an apology, so that is also a starter to mark in the history books.
For reasons that pass understanding, except for the cool aesthetic look of it all, a giant Hank is leaning on a building, chatting with Vale, admitting that he is a failure.
While he may have failed in much of his life, and trust me, he has, Vale assured him that he did not fail her. He did his best, which put her in a place where she is able to make the decision to join the dark side.
So, is that a win, lose, or a draw? You know what? Let's just call it a win so that Hank can have a historical hat trick.
She just does not feel like an Avenger. And she wants to hang out with a billionaire psychopath because he does help kids and does good things. And she wants to try something else, like hanging with a billionaire.
Hey, the whole world tried New Coke and demanded the original back.
But they still tried New Coke. And that's all we asked for.
Hours later, Maddie is finally packing her clothes, but Vance Astro flies up to her window to have his say, and possibly to grab a peek at her changing.
He has not appeared to lecture her. He just wants to talk and find out if it's his fault.
Amazingly, Vance, it was not.
First time for everything.
She lays out her reasons. She wanted to do this academy thing, but when she got here, she realized that it was ridiculously hard. And now she's on the verge of hating it and herself.
That hits close to home with Vance. He fanboyed Captain America his entire life. Then he became a hero. And it was hard. It was really hard. But he still feels like a hero when he puts on his head sock.
I can relate. I was once told that wearing compression socks would help my circulation on a long flight. But by the time it was over, all of the fat in my legs had been squeezed up into my stomach.
That has nothing to do with what they were talking about.
It honestly made more sense in my head, Rick. It honestly did.
Anyway, Vance sees Maddie's point and agrees she should quit, and he is going to quit too.
The next scene and the next night, we have a new Warriors reunion with Speedball and Justice.
They have both said their goodbyes and are talking about their next steps, and it looks like they are contemplating doing a road trip together to see the United States.
$20 say that they don't make it past Ohio.
Wait, why?
I don't know, dude. Again, it just sounded funny in my head.
You may need to get your head checked again. But back to Maddie, who is trying to sneak out the back door, but she gets caught by Brandon, a.k.a. Stryker.
Maddie knows that she has upset everyone, and she does not want any more drama or advice.
Wait, that is like what this entire book has been about so far.
Stryker's cool with that. He just wanted to let her know that just because she is a traitor supervillain, he still expects her to drop him a call from time to time.
Well, that's enough for her to give her friend a hug.
Hank and Tigra are watching this from a nearby window. Tigra is ready to move on and start taking care of the kids that they still have, before they, start also becoming supervillains.
Or to help them become villains, depending on your point of view.
Hank is ready for a change, and not the kids changing into superheroes kind of change. The Infinite Mansion is not the answer, and their dimensional tech is compromised, and he really hates the East Coast. They need a new headquarters and a new location and a new way to spend money that is not his. And he has himself an idea.
Before we find out what that idea is, let's check in one more time with Maddie. She is being shown her corner glass office in a skyscraper. And when she asks what they do now, is told that they do whatever they want.
Phew, must be nice to be rich.
Speaking of which, let's check out Palo Verdes, California, the former headquarters of the West Coast Avengers.
Everything is bigger out west. As everyone knows, you can have large slices of land adjacent to the ocean that have pure sun and green lawn, and who the heck is footing the bill for this place?
Well, remember, Tony Stark is in the pockets of Big Avenger, and I ain't talking about Hank Pym.
Speaking of which, Hank and Tigra are chatting about their very rough relationship that mostly is about Tigra cheating on him and trying to kill him.
That can happen.
But he is still in love with her. Interrupting
the two lovebirds is Quicksilver, who always has time for a snarky comment.
What? Not Quicksilver?
Yeah. He's the guy who's been putting this all together at this lovely location, making sure that the roof won't collapse as the next generation of students show up.
Well, I guess who one of them is, since this is the last page and there's been 0 power pack-ins in this book. So, who has shown up with Julie Power?
Well, let me check. We got a kid that looks like he's got bat wings, another riding a Sentinel, a shiny woman-shaped Ultron, an Orion slave girl, a masked kid holding a hammer, a heavier-set guy with combat pants, and a female Black Panther, except she's all in white.
Could not be bothered to learn any names, could you?
Not really. I thought about it, but then I figured they would introduce themselves in the next issue, and really, I don't care.
Fair enough.
Oh, we care. We care a lot. I care a lot.
I'll care in 2 weeks. I'll care after I read it. I remember some of the characters' names, and I don't remember others. I know that I'm like, Thor Kid is Thunderstruck. That's White Tiger. That's Julie Power with Walleyes. Can't remember Sentinel Kid, and that's Batwing.
Yeah, we're going to get to all of that, but first we got to go back to the beginning of this book and talk about the cover of the book, talk about the cover credits. We are talking Avengers Academy, and this is still part of the Fear Itself storyline, which didn't read, know the broad strokes of it. Norman Osborn is evil, and he was trying to do things, and a lot of bad things happened.
Well, also, I think it was mostly about hammers coming down that would give people massive power, except they were it was, people would pick up a hammer and they'd kind of become an avatar of God, like the
yeah.
If I'm remembering correctly, I think Sin got a hammer, and
we didn't read this.
Yeah, I read some. I know Thing got a hammer as well. Yeah, I touched into it a while back, and it didn't seem great. But that's a lot of the big spectacle events that go on. Some of them are kind of like, yeah, this is just a thing that's going to go on every 6 months. And you got a big spectacle, and then they can't defeat their enemy by punching, so they eventually punch it to victory.
Anyway, the cover of this issue has Avengers Academy, Fear Itself, Gage, Rainey, Hannah Cox. That's over this green little symboled background going on there. Looks Asgardian, I think, in the background. And the main cover, we have a class photo of this team of heroes that have been together, that have been working together. You've got Metal, Veil, Hazmat, Finesse, Striker, Reptile. They're all sitting in the front. And then behind them, you've got Speedball, Quicksilver, Tigra, and Vance Astro. And then you have Giant Man, who's got his head sideways because he's in giant form. Because when you're doing a picture, you want to,
Yeah. He's just highlighting the good stuff. He's going for space. Yeah.
So they've got this picture, and it looks like it was in this really nice frame, glass and everything. Well, it's been thrown on the ground. It's been broken. The frame is broken. The glass is broken. There's rubble all around. There's kind of a wire coming down. This is cool. I like this because this is telling you we've got this class photo here. It's an obvious class photo, superhero class. We've seen X-Men do this. We've seen Avengers do this. We've seen this before. It's a happy-looking photo. You got some seriousness. Vance Astro's always serious, but everyone's kind of goofing around. They're having fun. And we see the destruction and desolation. We see the remnants of something that's happened. You can take a lot from this, that this is rebuilding, that something has been destroyed. The family is broken. We have to do something different. Something else is coming out of this.
It would be really neat if the first issue's cover was this photo, like on a shelf or something, it to be like, oh, this is going to be the class and the characters that are going to be in it. And then you have this where it's kind of all ending because the Infinite Mansion's destroyed and everything. And that, I don't know if it is. I highly doubt it, but I think that would be a good tie-in to have that be a different cover and then have the kind of destroyed version cover here.
It is kind of funny because I was thinking the same exact thing. I was like, I wonder if that is true, because I thought that would also be kind of cool too.
We're on the same page a lot of times, which is great.
I will look that really quickly. What do you think about this cover, though? Do you like it?
Oh, I do like it. I think it's pretty great. Because it's nice. It's just showing the characters at rest. It's class photo. It's and here's our team. It's the job orientation photo where it's just like, oh, hey, it's everybody get together. We're having a photo, and like Tigra's dressed up in a suit, and Tigra can dress however she wants because normally she's walking around in a bikini. So
I checked it out. The cover of the first issue is those kid characters, the one in the front row, they're all kind of like coming forward. Avengers Academy number 1, and behind them you see Thor and Captain America and Iron Man, kind of like from the Avengers #1, so it's the old one, and that's part of the heroic age. So yeah, unfortunately they didn't probably think that far out ahead. Yeah. It would have been very cool if they had.
Maybe there was a time in the issues themselves where they had taken a class photo, and that maybe this was a panel out of one of the comics previous. Who knows? I think it would be great if it was.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have that kind of thing, especially since it's the 20th issue and they're making some changes. Not wholesale changes. I mean, looking at this picture, you've got 3 of the people that are piecing out. Mm-hmm. You've got Veil, Speedball, and Vance. Everybody else is staying, and they're going to be getting more people. So it's not a complete breaking up, but it's definitely a reshuffling, and there's going to be things that are going to be introduced. This is changing now. This was a status quo. Something else is coming. It's going to be different.
Yeah, they dropped some people to pick up twice as many. There's also the aspect, too, that Speedball had even said, he's like, I am still part of the group. I am available if you need me, but I'm leaving. He's left his foot in the door. He hasn't cleared his room out. He's just kind of like said, I'm taking a break. If you need me, I'll come, but I'm not here right now.
Yeah, we don't know what this is. I haven't. Yep. I've read some of these issues. I know a little bit what's coming up. We don't know what's happening. All we know is that things are going to change. We got more kids coming in at the end, but it's a good transition thing. The entire book is this long, long Irish goodbye.
Oh, it is. It is. It's just dragging. Yeah, it's all about somebody leaving and who's the person. All of them. Yeah. Yeah.
And she's trying not to have, I think at one time she's like, I don't want to say the same thing over and over and over. And yet she's having to, because she's having one-on-one conversations with every single person in this book.
Yeah, because, that's because people are coming to Maddie to say, they're giving her opinion and her thoughts. Yeah. Their thoughts on stuff. They're not asking her what her reasoning is. They're giving her their reasoning of why she should stay when they're not her. She has her own reasons for doing it.
A couple of people do. Yeah. A couple of people do treat this correctly, but it still turns into a reflection on themselves.
It really does. Because a lot of people will be like, oh, man, this is about me. It's my story now. Well, yeah, I know you're going through a thing, but this is how it relates to me. And a lot of people are like that. I'll do it myself.
Everybody does it. It's kind of the difference between empathetic and sympathetic. Mm-hmm. And it's trying to get into more of boy, I always get this wrong here. It's trying to get more into the empathetic instead of being sympathetic with them. I believe that's the correct way of looking at it. I can't remember. I may have switched that around. But it's the difference of saying, you should just get better. You know, I understand you're upset, but you should just get better. And, you know, trying to be happy with them and trying to make them happier. Where instead you're like giving the person time to grieve or to be sad or to tell you what they feel and to present what their needs are to you, and you to listen and accept that and let them be in their moment instead of forcing them to do, or forcing yourself to be like, well, I feel like, or, well, that has happened to me, or at least it's not as bad as, and it's something we all do.
A summation of that would be just Tigra's interaction. Because when she found out that Vale was leaving, she's like, don't even talk to me. And then when Vale's, you know, sneaking out, she's talking to Hank and is just like, basically saying, she's dead to us. We have other people to care about. We gave her everything. She's making she's making mistakes.
Yeah.
She's a fool and an idiot, and we could have helped her, and she should have listened to us. Well, here's the deal. That's great for you to think that. She needs to make her own choices. Is she making a mistake? We don't know, but it's her life, and she needs to make her own mistakes, and she needs to grow from them. Maybe it'll be a great choice. Maybe it'll be a bad choice.
If anything, I can respect Tigra for being honest. This is what Tigra feels, and there ain't no line. This is my feelings. Whereas other people are trying to guilt Vale and trying to say, well, you shouldn't do it because of this reason. And Tigra's like, that's your choice. See ya. She's truthful. It may not be the most empathetic, but she's honest. Sometimes that's okay. So we're not going to get a lot of time with Vale. You know, we may get to spend time with her and learn more about her afterwards. We get a good sense of who she is, and just through why her choices are her choices, her own fears, what she wants to do before she is going to die. Okay, let's check out some of these other people. So we're going to be spending some time with them. These are our new people. We've met them once before when we had Spider-Man be a guest star, and Alex took over teaching a class, so we read an issue where Spider-Man was their assistant teacher, or substitute teacher.
Yep, asked by Hank to come and and talk to the students so they don't make all the mistakes that he's made, because he's made every mistake.
So let's talk about them as we see him on this cover here. We've got Metal, and he is a red metal-skinned boy who, that's his skin. It's just indestructible. Skull face. He has just got this armored exterior that nobody can touch.
Doesn't seem like he's the brightest boy in the bunch. Doesn't seem like school was a big thing for him, you know, and he was even talking, when he was talking to Vale, he's like, oh man, you know, it's like discorporate within 10 years, you won't be able to touch anything. Man, and now you're going to get this job. If I had known that something like this was going to happen to me, I'd have spent more time at the beach instead of at school. Yeah. He's a simple soul, is what he seems like. Simple soul. Very simple soul.
He seems to be easily swayed, especially by certain female members of their team. That's his thing. Speaking of which, we've got Hazmat, who may be tied with Tigra for just being as the nastiest person here. We aren't sure yet. Hazmat has a power where she is continually extruding radioactive material, so she is always wearing this hazmat suit. So it makes sense that she is a little standoffish from people because, well, she's angry. She's got a reason to be angry.
I think she used to be like a happy life, fun party girl kind of thing, and now she's at a state, oh, cool, I've got a superpower, which means that I cannot be involved with anybody. I'm Rogue Plus. All I am is toxic. I am stuck in a suit forever, because if I'm out of the suit, wow, everybody dies. That's super fun.
She's got a toxic personality, and that's what we know about her. We have Finesse, who is a little stuck up because she's really intelligent. She can copy everything. She's basically Taskmaster.
Yes, she's Taskmaster with autism kind of thing.
Yeah. And then we have Stryker, kind of a pretty boy. He's very much into himself. He also has, I think it's a lightning power that he's got. But he comes from, I think, a rich background as well. He's kind of an interesting character, and I know in the next couple of issues we're going to see some interesting interactions with him.
He is a character that I continually forget about. Every time I see him, I'm like, who's this guy? And then they go, oh, it's Stryker, and da-da. I'm like, oh yeah, this guy. I have no knowledge about him other than electricity powers.
Right.
Like, stuck up with electricity powers, done. That is my completion of my knowledge on him.
And to be fair, this entire Avengers Academy team, I haven't really tracked them and seen where they've gone, but they show up here and there and not too many other places. I think they were trying to be used as a team going forward, but I don't know if they ever really caught on.
I don't think it ever really took. I could be wrong, but you do not see them very often.
No, not very often. And they really stick closely around the Avengers titles.
Yeah, they're a very narrow scope team.
Yeah. And then we have Reptile, who can change into his body into various reptilian shapes.
Yeah, I think any dinosaur bit. So he can get pterodactyl wings and a stegosaurus tail and, whatever.
He is the favorite character for any child between the ages of 4 and 6.
and grown men who like dinosaurs still.
Well, you got the mentality of 4 and 6.
Dinosaurs! Dinosaurs are cool.
We will get into some of the newer people that show up on the last page later on. I'm not going to really worry about them now because we are just focused on this team and then saying goodbye to some people. I'm not even going to get too much into the faculty because we'll have time to talk about them and those changes as well. Big thing I want to hit on before we get on to our final thoughts is, how are you feeling about the massive tonal shift between Hickman's writing style and Gage's?
Hickman always kind of seems like 18 plates spinning. And also, a lot of the characters are very smug and intelligent and kind of have the superiority kind of complex going on. Where it's just like, there's lots of stories going on, but there's also the, blah, 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 I'm Valeria and, and Nathaniel. Everybody always has like a plan of some kind of thing. This is very much just like a lot of people that don't really have plans, and they're all kind of depressed, and they don't feel great. And they're kind of just trying to make it through the day, and they don't always know what to do, but maybe they're going to do something. It is a different mentality. It is very different characters.
It sounds like you really are talking about drama, TV drama.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has worked on Hawaii Five-0, Daredevil, Paradox, Revisioned, Tomb Raider, Numbers, a couple episodes of Numbers, a couple episodes of Law & Order. I'm just saying, yeah.
He's the C-dub.
Yeah.
There you go. He's the C-dub.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit his writing style. And not to say that he's got a lot of work in this, but it just seems to me that his writing style is very much centered on the drama of it all, which, cool. Kind of like that. Growing up with Christopher Claremont and Uncanny X-Men and Louise Simonson and Power Pack and New Mutants and X-Factor, that's all that was. It was that drama, that interaction between characters. That's what this is. It's not the big universe-shaping events that Hickman ties together with giant storylines that are going to break the fabric of how you write comic books. This is, hey, workplace drama.
This is the Dawson's Creek. This is the...
Yeah, this gets into just the characters being characters and how they're interacting with each other. But I will say that reading this and even writing up a script for it, it was hard because I was used to Hickman having space for us to discuss and to talk about. I'm like, I have to summarize a lot of dialogue, a lot of talkie-talkie, a lot of, they moved over to this set piece, to this set piece, this piece. They went like 10 different places in the course of this 20-page book. Oh my goodness gracious. It's a different feeling, it's a different pacing, and I think it's something we're going to have to get used to because it's kind of like we're slowing down and ramping up the talking.
We're slowing down one style of storytelling and amping up a different style of storytelling.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a brand new show.
Brand new show. And the reason why we are here is because Julie Power is joining this team.
Yes, she is.
How? In what capacity? I can't tell you. All I know is that a very badly drawn Julie Power shows up at the end of this book.
Yeah, like I said, she's kind of a wall-eyed Julie Power.
And here's the catch, is that the rest of this book, except for like the last 4 or 5 pages, the rest of this book is fine art. I don't have really any problem with the art at all. It's all very fine. It's all very serviceable. Then you get in the last couple pages and like Tigra's face is off. And then you see Julie Power and she's kind of like front and center. She's coming flying out of this Quinjet with all these other characters. And you see her face and you're like, did she just slam into a invisible wall? I don't know what happened.
Deadlines, my dude. time constraints and deadlines.
No, for the most part, I am liking Rainey's art in here. I think it's pretty good. It's not off the hook.
No,
but it's pretty good.
It is entirely serviceable. It's very passable. Mm-hmm. It looks fine. It doesn't jump out of the page at you. It's not stuff that you're going to be like, oh man, Rick, did you see this yet? Did you see this? Yeah, there's no moments like that. It's just... The
problem is at the end of it, it's like, wow, this got bad. And I had to keep flipping back and going, no, this wasn't bad at the beginning. I don't know what happened here. Deadlines.
Gonna say deadline. That's my only guess.
All right, let's get on and talk about some final thoughts. And we start off with our brand new, just put up, brand new classroom. It's outside classroom because this is Southern California, my dude. But it's an outside classroom. Don't worry, we can put up our new artwork all over this outside classroom. Brand new. We got to start out with nice and fresh. Let's start off with some joke ones.
You betcha.
And I'm going to go ahead and start because you know why?
You want
we were just talking about it.
Oh, walleye.
The last page.
Yeah.
The last page. We were told to pose like this.
Yeah.
Because it's not just Julie. It's everybody.
It's everybody. Yeah, I actually, that's my top joke one. I called it a normal way to leave a plane. Because everybody's like in an action pose, shooting forward into adventure and infinity and everything that's going on. Massive things are going on just over there and we're running to it. No, it's pointless. It's like...
It's absolutely pointless. Yeah.
You're deboarding a plane to like get in line to have like, roll call. All right, get in this line.
It would be better if they were all just casually walking out.
Oh, yeah.
And with amazement and awe at what a cool facility.
Yeah.
Instead, they're all like, we're here to attack somebody.
Yeah. Everybody looks ridiculous. They're all, they're all, and it is dumb as dumb can be.
Speaking of posing, what are you going to pose with for your backup joke one?
On the very first page, the big ol' splash page when they're fighting the serpent, I call it Marvel characters when ordered off of Wish. Because you look, and it's because they've all been like hammer transformed or something. So Iron Man looks off. Red She-Hulk, she looks about right, but Spider-Man's got a weird costume and big like forearm claws. Grey Gargoyle is weird looking with a big hammer. There's a character who I'm like, I have no idea who you are. There's just a bunch of people where it's like, yeah, I can recognize a bunch of you, but a lot of you just don't look right. So everybody's just off.
Here's my thing. I actually had that in my top best art.
Ooh.
I like the opening splash page.
Okay.
I thought the fact that there's this giant snake that's blasting down horror on these transformed heroes, I thought it was pretty awesome looking. The way they're showing this too is that this is on TV. This is the shot from TV that they're saying, bad stuff has happened. And I'm like, I want to sign me up for more. I want to keep watching this show. All right. Let me tell you about my top joke one. I called this, How Private Can This Chat Be? And this is where Hank Pym is having his private little chat with Vale. And he's leaning on the side of the building. So he's there. He's got his cowl off. And he's just standing there. And this is the bottom panel. He's just standing there leaning on this building. And Vale is just sitting at the edge of the building. And I'm like, they're there having a nice, quiet chat about why she's leaving. And dude can't be bothered to shrink on down to you do not need to be Giant Man for this conversation. It would be better not to be Giant Man for this conversation.
Yeah, he's like 4 stories tall. And I know this because it's on page 22 of Marvel Unlimited. It was my backup best one for art. Actually,
it's good. I just found it absolutely ridiculous, and I'm like, just no. Yeah, I said, how private can your chat be with the 4-story man? So I had the 4-story there too.
It is ridiculous and silly, but it is my backup art, and I called it a big talk.
Yeah,
because it looks great, but it is ridiculous. It is stupid ridiculous.
All right, I think I there may be another one still out there, but this might be our last one. I got my backup one, and this is the flashback, and this is the picture of Doc Ock. And this is right before we cut over to Maddie looking out of her new apartment. And this is this really cool flashback. It's where Hank Pym and Tiger are talking, and they're thinking back to some of the things that they've faced before, like the battle between Dr. Octopus and the Absorbing Man. And it is very cool because this is like a twisted version of both Doc Ock and the Absorbing Man. And they're in the background, kind of a darkened color, and you see Hank and Tigra talking about it, and it just looks very, very cool. It's a very well-composed picture.
And it's my top art. And I called it Dimension Door Absorbing Man. Because they're talking about the Infinite Mansion. They're like, Doc Ock has messed it up, and Absorbing Man has gotten my dimensional door tech. So everything, we can't use any of that because it's tainted. It has been infected. We can't use it anymore. Absorbing Man just looks awesome. He looks super cool. He's got like stone growths coming out of him. He's got glowing orange symbols, which I'm going to assume is the door tech. He's got, brick wall forming on his tummy. It just looks really good. And the Doc Ock is the later day going to die Doc Ock. It's him in his, like kind of mummified mode where he's like, my body's shutting down, but I need to do things so that way I can live on in, spoilers, Peter Parker. So.
And again, you look at this page and then you look at the last couple pages. Yeah. I don't know what happened because.
Oh, yeah.
Great picture of Tigra there. I mean, I like her face in this one. Hank maybe look a little weird on this, but I still like it. This is well done. And then you get to the last page and you're like, what happened? And congratulations, 444. Not necessarily, actually, none of them were matching where we had them, but we had the same 4 pictures.
Yeah, we did have the same. Okay, I think what might be kind of a problem on the back page is that it looks like it's done with a fisheye lens. So everybody's kind of distorted out a little bit is what it looks like.
That doesn't make sense. It makes them look idiotic.
Yeah.
It makes them look stupid. It makes them look like, oh, pick your favorite rubber and glue moment because that's where we're at. The best or most childish insult. I'm going to go ahead and say right now, both of mine are Quicksilver. Surprise.
One of mine is Quicksilver.
My backup one, Quicksilver, talking about Jeremy Briggs.
Yep.
The boy is a weasel.
Yep. Yep.
The boy is a weasel. He doesn't look like a weasel, but you get exactly everything about him from that description. Quicksilver, don't lie.
Yeah, this is Quicksilver talking about it. It's pretty great.
Yeah, he don't lie. I'll just do my other Quicksilver one, and this is at the end where Quicksilver's talking about Tigra and Giant Man.
Oh, yeah.
The two of you behaving like animals in heat.
Yeah, because they're smooching.
Yeah, they're smooching. I mean, it's Quicksilver being Quicksilver, and I like Quicksilver being mean to everybody else. How about you?
Mine was on page 18. This is when Vale is sneaking out, doing her Irish goodbye, and Stryker's there, like going, hey, you're sneaking out. And she's like, okay, fine. You're my best friend. You've earned the right to dig into me. Everybody else has. But what do you want to say to me? And he's like, I only wanted to say that just because you're a traitor supervillain doesn't mean we can't hang. So good luck and don't be a stranger, okay? It's just like traitor supervillain. It's like, hey.
If this is my introduction to Stryker, I like the guy. Oh, yeah. I like the guy. Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about him, but so far I like him.
Yeah, because he's even saying, he's like, dude, I am too screwed up myself to give you any advice or to judge you. It's like, man, run your own race because I'm over here falling downstairs. Don't worry about me judging you. Just do your thing, but we're friends, so remember that. I like spending time with you. Let's hang. So
the best way to approach a friend on some of these kind of situations, it's needed. He recognizes it. If we can all be like that.
Yep.
But not me. I'm not like that to you.
No understanding at all.
Let me tell you, I may not be a good friend, but in this book, there is a Parent of the Year. We are going to keep the Parent of the Year award because why not? We're still dealing with kids. We're going to figure out who in here may not be the best person in the series, may not be the worst person in the series, but the person who showed that they are a good parent or a bad parent. We don't know. It's the Reed Richards Award for good parenting. Hank.
Correct.
I'm going to say it for good reasons because he recognized his failures and talking to people, and he was not just making them do things his way.
Correct. And it was really nice when Vale says she's leaving, and he's like, no, you can't leave. You're too important to the team. We need this. And Justice was like, hey, no, you haven't been there. You haven't seen this and all these things. And immediately Hank was like, you know what? You're right. I was speaking for selfish reasons. You have your own choices. You choose what is best for you. Yeah, Hank was great in this.
We are matching up pretty good on this issue. Let's see if we can bring that into our popular and shunned, where we identify the worst and the best in this issue. Worst. Who you got?
I got Tigra.
Ding, 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 my friend. I said it before. Her delivery and her honesty, very refreshing. But let's not mince words here. She's a pretty caustic person. She's pretty horrible.
she is. She is more caustic than Hazmat. Hazmat, oh, well, she's really caustic personality and all these things. And it's like, from the interaction that she had with Maddie, it seemed like she but she's not now. She was very, like, supportive.
Yeah, you could see her trying.
Yeah.
She was trying to be better.
Yeah.
Whereas Tigra's just like, nah, you dead to me.
Yeah, right up front, where it's just angry, upset, and it's just like, you want to leave us? Then I'm leaving you right now. Why are you even spending time here? Get out of my door, kind of thing.
All right, we matched on that one. How are we going to match on this one? I went with Brandon. I went with Stryker.
Ooh, that is an excellent choice, but I am deviating from the norm. Brandon was a great choice. He was just in the one moment for a really good thing with talking to Vale.
It was so good. I liked that interaction. I liked him just recognizing, you know what, look, you've talked to everybody else. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm your friend. That's it. That's the beginning and the end. And I appreciated that. So
he's a great choice.
He wasn't even upset that she was sneaking out without saying goodbye.
Oh, yeah. He understood.
He was just like, I understand. So I like that. I respected that.
He was also smart enough to know that she probably was going to do that, and he went to the area where she'd be sneaking out at.
What would I do?
Yeah.
All right, who do you got?
I got Justice.
Interesting.
Justice, I thought, did a really good job on that, because he stood up to Hank when Hank was like, no, you can't leave. And he was like, you haven't been there. You don't understand. So he was supportive of her. Then he went to go talk to her later, and she's like, hey, what are you doing flying up to my window? What if I was changing? And I liked his reasoning on that. He's like, if you were getting naked in your room, you would either have your windows closed, your drapes closed, or the people in the office across the way would be lining up at the window to peek at you. I assume that you weren't. There we go. He
also was very good with Speedball, too. He listened to Speedball.
Yeah, exactly. And so since he was just like, how about we go on a road trip? How about you and me? What if we both were thinking like taking time off, and you were talking about seeing the world in a lazy, easy way? Why don't we get a car and we could go do that together? Yeah, I just really appreciated how level-headed and supportive he was of everybody. So that's why I picked Justice.
All right. Then that is our choices. Now, we got another choice we're going to make. We have to rank this book on our ever-growing list of the best issues that Power Pack shows up in. And Power Pack showed up here for a hot second. A really scared Julie, I guess. I don't know. Top of list, Fantastic Four 588. Down at spot number 20, we've got Loners number 1, Fear of Flying. Down at spot number 40, we have got Doom Sacrificing While the Alt-Read Fries. 27 minutes from Fantastic Four 14. And at the bottom, we got Loners number 3. How are you feeling about this one?
It's decent. It's not amazing. I'm feeling kind of mid-tier. Mid-tier high.
Well, let's see here. I was just kind of chuckling and stumbling over Doom Sacrifices While Alt-Read Fries at number 40. That's the 27 minutes. Is this better as some of these FF ones that we've got here around 38 and 40?
That is a good choice.
Actually, I kind of like, and this might be a little bit matching the art stylings. Fantastic Four 580, that's the Fantastic Four with Frank Leach and Artie versus Arcade and Impossible Man. That was kind of fun. That was kind of silly. It was a little bit of a one-off thing. The art was special in it. Let's match it up to that. Do we like that more or less than this one?
They were different tales with different vibes. Ooh, they are fairly close to each other. In the Franktastic Four, it was a big special day, but a whole lot of nothing. Where this had a lot of motion and change and things with weight to it. Yeah. I'm going to say that it was slightly better than the Franktastic Four.
I'm thinking so. And then we have, above that, Amazing Spider-Man 660, where they fight the pirates in Sinister Six and Ocean's 11ing.
Booty.
So we got that going on, and I think this actually might be a good spot for it, right between those two.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this one's good. It's got stuff in it. This is the ending to something. This is the ending to a storyline, and they're moving pieces around. They're getting set up for the next one, and it's a lot. I think that this one's going to be a little bit forgettable. Yeah. But at the same time, I think it's well done.
Yeah, it's our business was bought by another company, and they're downsizing to re-establish the brand, and they'll rename, but it'll be the same, but it'll be different. Yeah.
That's Jeff's way of saying that this is going to be the new number 37 on our list. And we're going to talk about beer now. Jeff, we are in some low places.
Yep.
Actually, I'm feeling pretty good. But we are drinking a beer called Low Places. We liked this a lot when we started drinking it. How do we feel now?
I'm still really enjoying it. Again, it is simple. It is a for them spouting how complex this beer was, it is very simple beer. It's very enjoyable. It's very pleasant. I could put a lot of these down my gullet.
Yeah.
I may be feeling a little generous. I want to give it a 4.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way. I enjoy it. I like it. I think it's great. Simple to drink, simple to enjoy. I'm not hating this at all.
Yeah.
I'm going to join you on the 4. I think that the 4 is a good number for this. It's a good beer. So, Low Places, Breakside Brewery. You still make our hearts sing, wild thing.
Yep. And you know what makes my heart sing? Why, it would be Kid's Perspective. And that is where Rick talks to his 12-year-old daughter, Carrie, about the issue that we just covered. So, Rick and Carrie, take it away.
Hello, Carrie.
Hello, Daddy.
How are you doing today?
Good, and you?
Just fine, just fine. We are starting a brand new series. Woohoo!
Woo!
Starting with issue number 20. Woohoo!
Woo!
What do you know about Avengers Academy?
Not much. Actually, probably none at all. It's teens.
Do you remember these kids from another book we read once?
I think so. That one Spider-Man sort of thing.
Yes.
It was only kind of brief in some of them.
Yeah. The one character that's leaving this book and then her 5 friends, they were all in that one book with Spider-Man. He was a substitute teacher at the time.
Yeah.
So you've at least seen them once, right?
Mm-hmm.
Overall impression of the book so far?
It was okay. It didn't help not really knowing what was going on, but...
I didn't give you any background to this. I didn't give you any stories. You didn't ask any questions. Just going off of what you read, were you able to follow the story well enough?
Sort of. This one girl's leaving because she has emotional issues, and this other 2 teachers are leaving because...
Reasons.
Yup. There's a cat, and that's the most important part.
Are you talking about Tigra?
No. The Speedball's cat.
Speedball's cat, that's right. Well, we aren't going to see Speedball and Niles anymore, so sorry. You're just stuck with Tigra.
Okay.
What do you think about the kids? Do you like any of them?
I don't really know them that much. They're just kind of...
There?
Yeah, talking, freaking out.
So no real impressions on them besides that?
Not really. I feel like I need to know them more.
Okay, not a problem. What about the teachers? Do you have any opinions on any of the teachers?
Not really just yet. I'm kind of waiting to see how this plays out.
Is there any characters at all that you're interested in besides the cat?
Julie at the end.
Okay, all right.
It's something.
What do you think about the artwork in this book?
It's okay. I think we talked about this at the end, like the last page. Julie does not look good.
Yeah.
But up till that point, the art was pretty good.
That's kind of what Jeff and I were saying on this one, too. We liked the art up until the end, and then I don't know what happened, but the last page...
Julie looks distressed.
Yeah, the last page just is rough. So, all right. What do you feel about the difference between this writing in this book and what we just came off of with Hickman's Fantastic Four?
I guess they're both kind of like groups of young people, and...
Do you feel that there's a difference in style and writing and presentation of the characters?
Yeah, because there's more people quitting. And a lot more people with emotional problems than little kids have.
Well, these are superhero kids, and they've been through a lot.
They're teenagers.
Sure, and they've been through a lot.
Yeah.
Which one do you like more? Which style of writing do you like more so far?
I don't know.
Do you like reading about teenage angst?
Well, it'd help better if I knew more about what was truly going on, but...
Well, you can always check out the internet and look up in some past information too, but you don't need to if you just kind of want to go into it cold and see what you can glean from the information that you're being given.
And also there's going to be more in this series, so...
Yep, we're going to be here for a little while. You'll be able to meet these characters and some other characters as well. So we'll see what that's all like. Anything else you want to talk about this book?
Not really.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time, Carrie.
Welcome.
I love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Always insightful. Always love you joining us and giving us your opinion on what we just read. Thank you so very much, Carrie.
Shout out time. We like to recognize those listeners who take time and leave us a review on our lovely, lovely, lovely little podcast. And you can find us wherever, there are some social medias, but you find us there. Leave us a review. Like these people did for episode 142, where we covered FF number 15. That's the one where Power Pack shows up. It was awesome. Al Sedano and Resurrections and Adam Warlock and Thanos podcast.
Brian Knott.
Charles Gears.
Clinton Robeson and their podcast Coffee and Comics and Fan Film Fridays.
Gibson Gray.
Hoover Jeremiah and their show 4 Million Years Later.
Jeremy Daw.
Jonathan Schaefer-Hames and their podcast MWC.
Justin Steiner.
Limax 7.
Mal.
Matthew Birdsey.
Matthew Fenner.
Tim Price, the Podcrasher, and their podcast The Outcasters.
We'd like to thank those people that still give us some money to do our Patreon shows. We still put them out once a month. They're enjoyable. Join us, won't you? Give us a little bit of money. Help us out. And get some extra Power Pack podcasting pleasure. And be like adorably astonishing and amazing Andrew Burns.
Cheerfully cheeky and charming Char Logan.
Challenging, cheesy, and chuckling Charles Gears.
Destructive and devastatingly delightful Damian Witter.
Dynamically dangerous and devious Doug Jones.
Intelligent, interesting, and innovative Isaac Perry.
Jesting, joking, and jovial Jeff Polier.
Just jealous and jeweled Jeremy Daw.
Muscly, mighty, and meticulous Matthew Birdsey.
Mythical and magnificent monologuing Matthew Laserwitz.
Steely, salty, and steamy Sailor Bear Zodar.
Sad and sickeningly silly Shag Matthews.
Tyrannically terrifying and tame Tim Price.
Way wordy and wobbly Waffles.
Weird and wonderfully wacky Wind.
Next issue, we are going to cover Avengers Academy from 2010, issue number 21. Welcome, students.
Be sure to check us out wherever else we are. Not really doing much besides this show, but maybe someday we will do something else. Who knows? Things happen.
And we have some merchandise available on Redbubble. Go to redbubble.com and search for Unpacking the Power of Power Pack.
Jeff and Rick is a bi-weekly self-produced podcast recorded in front of a live studio audience of a bunch of comic book boxes that go from the Infinity Crusade to Sword in Portland, Oregon. If you would like to interact with us, you can do so through the magic of the internet at Blue Sky, Jeff and Rick Present, Twitter, at Jeff and Rick Present, Facebook page, Jeff and Rick Present, our email address, jeffandrickpresent, all one word, at gmail.com, or at our website, jeffandrickpresent.wordpress.com. Also, we got a YouTube channel called, guess what? Jeff and Rick Present.
And if you would like to help support our show, we are on Patreon. You can find us at patreon.com, Jeff and Rick Present, all one word. We are also a proud supporter of the Hero Initiative, and we'll be donating 10% of our Patreon donations to this great cause. We encourage everyone to give what they can to this worthwhile organization that helps the creators who provide us with such great content. Go to heroinitiative.org to find out more.
Please rate and review us wherever you can, tell your friends about us, or share your love for us on social media.
And as always, we want to thank the powerful people in our packs.
My wife Cindy and our daughter Carrie.
My fiancée Hillary and our daughter Aurora. We love you. Until next time, costumes off.
Our theme music is 80s Action by Kevin MacLeod. Also featured in this episode is Badass by Fat Sounds. All music is found in Incompetech.com and is licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license.
No, heck with those guys. We need to focus on Maddie, a.k.a. Veal.
Veal.
Yeah, not Veal. It's like she's got a terrible name and PETA hates her.
Yummy, yummy.
Woo!
So, is that a win, lose, or a draw? You know what? Let's just call it a win so that Hank can have a historical hat trick.
Try it again. You lost historical.
Okay.
Woo!
That hits Clone too. I don't know what that was.